So, in part two of our fiber discussion, we will focus on fiber rich foods and how we go about actually getting more fiber into the diet. As I mentioned in part one, dietary fiber, of course, only comes from plant based foods. So, anytime we're consuming whole plant based foods, we are likely getting a fair amount of dietary fiber. Of course, some sources of whole plant based foods are better than others. So, we'll kind of break down each category here, starting with fruits first. So, the foods that I list here, certainly not an all inclusive list, but just kind of highlighting some of the better sources of fibers within each food group. So we'll start first with fruits, and it's recommended to eat about 2 to 3 servings of fruits daily. But these are some wonderful sources of fiber. Starting first with raspberries, even just a cup of raspberries, 8 grams of fiber. One medium-sized pear, 5.5 grams of fiber. An apple, just a basic apple, 4 grams of fiber, a banana, 3 grams of fiber. And one of the most potent sources of fiber, an avocado, even a half of an avocado, medium size, about 6 grams. So if you're eating a full size avocado, you double that for 12 grams of fiber. So, how about vegetables? Certainly another wonderful source of fiber. And again, it's recommended to do upwards of 3+ servings of veggies a day. Really, the more the better. So, looking at broccoli, even 1 cup of broccoli, about 5 grams of fiber. Green peas, a really wonderful source of dietary fiber. A half a cup comes with 5 grams. Even your run of the mill baked potato, one medium, about 4 grams of fiber. A cup of carrots will get you about 4 grams of fiber. And then salad greens, again, various forms from spinach to romaine, comes with a good dose of fiber as well. 1 cup, upwards of 3 to 5 grams. And if you consider one, decent salad replacement of a meal, something you're going to sit down and eat, you might get 2 3 cups, so that's going to run you upwards of 12 or more grams of fiber even. So we'll take a look at beans and nuts next. Certainly some great sources of fiber as well, especially with beans. 1 cup of a bean, for instance, is going to get you anywhere from 7 to 16 grams of fiber. Lentils, pretty much the same there, upwards 10 to 15 grams of fiber for 1 cup. Nuts and seeds, you're looking at anywhere from 2 to 5 grams of fiber, really, depending on the nut or the seed. So if you're looking to get more fiber in the diet, certainly beans are a great option for you, and really it doesn't matter all that much. Certainly there are some better options within the bean category, but I would choose your favorite, whether that's a black bean or a navy bean or a pinto. Northern beans tend to be one of the highest fiber content bean, upwards of that 16-gram range there. So definitely reach for those beans if you're looking to increase the fiber content in your diet. And we'll round out the plant-based food categories, looking at grains, and certainly grains are a wonderful source of fiber as well. Definitely have to select whole grains versus the more refined ones. Oats, for instance, 1 cup, about 5 grams of fiber. A good slice of whole grain or whole wheat bread, anywhere from 2 to 4 grams of fiber. Brown rice, 1 cup, about 4 grams. Whole wheat pasta and quinoa, about a cup, will get you 5 grams each. So again, if you're eating any grains in your diet, do your best to choose those whole grain varieties, and that will certainly bring more fiber into your diet. So by now you've probably guessed that getting more fiber into your diet does involve eating more whole plant-based foods, and you are absolutely correct. There is a number of different ways you can go about doing that. You certainly don't have to overhaul your entire diet. You can, and that's certainly one way of being a little bit more aggressive about it. However, you can also scrutinize your diet a little bit more and look for those strategic ways to kind of get more fiber into the mix, and we'll talk about some of those ways now. So, assuming I've sold you on the merits of getting more fiber into your diet, how does one actually go about doing that? Well, there's a variety of different things we can do. Chances are most of us are eating some type of a packaged or processed food, especially with grain items in it. One thing we can try to do at least is to consume more whole grain varieties of processed foods. And those whole grains, remember, have that fiber-filled bran section of the grain itself. So when you're looking at bread, for instance, a good whole grain bread might have 3 to 4 grams of fiber, whereas a refined white bread might have 0 fiber. So take a look at the ingredients labels on the processed food you might be consuming, whether that's bread or pasta, for instance, or cereal. Always look for whole grain in the ingredients list. Ideally, it would be the first ingredient in that product. That's going to tell you that it does have a good source of unrefined fiber content in it. Another method of getting more fiber into your diet, if you do a fair amount of cooking at home or meal prep, whether it be breakfast, lunch, dinner, don't miss an opportunity to add veggies to a given recipe. Whether it's a pasta dish or pizza, lend themselves well to adding a whole variety of different veggies, whether it's green peppers, onions, spinach, you name it. Soups and stews, of course, you can load those with different vegetables. Rice dishes and casseroles, again, lend themselves very well to really bulking them up with a variety of vegetables. Egg dishes, Mexican dishes. Try to upgrade your sauces by using beans, carrots, and squash, chia or flax seeds in those recipes. And even if you're not doing much cooking, if you're making your own meals for lunchtime, whether it's a sandwich or a salad, do your best to mix a variety of different vegetables in place, especially different colors, to make sure that you're getting a variety of vitamins as well. So I enjoy a good healthy snack in the afternoon, and certainly evaluating the quality of our snacks is another really good way to get more fiber in the mix. So adding one simple method is trying to do more fruit and or vegetables as a snack. Nuts are a wonderful snack. Popcorn is actually a whole grain. We often forget that has 3 or 4 grams of fiber per serving. Trail mix, again, something that has a variety of nuts, possibly peanuts and different uh, dried fruits as well as a great option. A carefully chosen nutrition bar, like a Larabar, for instance, or a Kind bar, something that is a mix of healthy whole grain, possibly fruits and nuts, things of that nature. And don't be afraid to experiment with homemade options. This is a high fiber energy ball, which is a really simple thing to make at home. They are super tasty, and depending on the ingredients, can pack a very nice fiber punch as well. Certainly, one surefire way to get more fiber in the mix is really evaluate what you're eating, what you're consuming at that main dinner time meal. That's hopefully the one meal of the day where we may have a little bit more time to prepare a more thoughtful meal for ourselves and family. So, just a few simple things to keep an eye on: is there a fruit and or a vegetable in place with each meal? Again, keep in mind those whole plant foods are going to, the only thing actually that are going to provide the fiber in our diet. Are we choosing a high fiber grain when we're serving a side grain over a more refined option? You know, brown rice, for instance, over white rice, maybe quinoa as an alternative as well. Have we incorporated a legume or lentil as a side dish? Keep in mind, beans in particular are wonderful sources of fiber and can come with up to 10, 15 grams of fiber easily per serving. So, just by looking at kind of these three areas, you can take a dinner time meal with very minimal fiber to something that is meeting easily half, if not more, of your daily fiber needs. So maybe you're not ready to make wholesale changes to your entire diet, but you recognize, hey, I need to do a little bit better getting more fiber into my routine. Consider one of these really high fiber foods as a way to do that, whether you're incorporating one or two of them even in your daily routine without really adjusting too much else with respect to your diet. I mean, looking at something like red raspberries, avocado, even half an avocado has 6 to 7 grams of fiber. A cup of navy beans, for instance, adding chia or flax seeds to cereals, to salads, to pastas, to smoothies. These things tend to add a lot of fiber in the mix. And 1 cup of peas, again, 9 grams of fiber. So there are some items that you can incorporate, again, outside of making dramatic changes to your diet. Even incorporating one or two of these things in the mix can add a lot of fiber in place. So we've broken down the benefits of fiber. We've talked about a variety of different foods that are wonderful sources of fiber, and looked at some strategies we may use to add more fiber into our diet. So now it's time to figure out what it is that's going to work in your lifestyle. So getting started with some dietary changes. Any lifestyle change, of course, it's a great idea to develop some basic goals. What exactly are you hoping to accomplish? With fiber, where am I at now? Am I roughly at 10 grams a day and want to get to 20, or am I at 15 and want to get to 40? Start with those goals in mind. Identify possible high fiber additions to your diet. There may be certain foods that you actually already enjoy, and it might be about picking out those assortment of foods and implementing them into your diet. Identify sensible strategies and habits that, again, work for you. Because if it's not going to work for you in your lifestyle and your routine, because we're all different, chances are it's not going to stick for you. So again, pick out habits and strategies that work for you. We talked about a variety of different things to possibly implement, whether it's trying to choose more whole grains instead of the processed grains. Doing a salad as a standard at each meal, or adding one of those fiber bomb type of items that we talked about, whether it's an avocado or beans. If all else fails, consider a fiber supplement as part of your strategy if you just can't quite get to the numbers that you're trying to reach. Again, for women, that's 25 grams. For men, about 38 to 40 grams. So again, most people with a few sensible adaptations to their diet should be able to get very close to those fiber needs. But again, not a terrible thing to use a fiber supplement to maybe get you over the top. So in considering all these things, What does your plan look like? So sit down and develop a 3 or 4 or 5 point strategy that you are planning to implement. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If there's ever anything I can do to help, please don't hesitate to ask. Have a great day.